So, finally, to wrap things up, when talking with my daughter about this case, she's a sophomore in college right now, I was surprised to learn that she did not think this was such a big deal. For her, it showed that the applicants had skill to find needed information in order to make a decision. And I can understand that perspective because the internet is all around us and it's very easy to get information, and we're used to getting information very quickly, and to have to wait for something can be, frankly, pretty hard to do in this day and age. And so I can see how it would be extremely tempting for an applicant, especially for something as exclusive as an MBA school in one of these institutions like Harvard, MIT. You really want to know if you got in or not, and it's got to be really hard to wait. So I can see where the temptation was. It doesn't make it excusable, but I can kind of, when I put myself in their shoes, I think I can see it. I can understand it. But when I read through the case study, my reaction was quite different from my daughter's. I think I have a different perspective because I work in higher education. I have a sense of not only how these systems work, and obviously sometimes don't work, but also of the time and consideration taken by institutions in the admissions process. I know that selective schools like Harvard and MIT wait to release information because business schools are competitive, and they're often competing for the same students. And so many of the dates, the release dates for data are, or release dates to applicants are at the same time. So sort of all the information goes out at once. The applicants have a certain amount of time to respond. And if you release that information too early, there goes your competitive edge. I don't know. Maybe it's nice to know in advance so that you can bank your school against another school who has a later application release date. In any case, I can kind of understand from the institution's perspective as well as from the applicant's perspective. I try to see both sides of that. But also, what's interesting to me is that I know for a fact that admissions decisions are often not final until just under the wire. And so it's possible that applicant statuses were not actually correct at the time of the hackings. And this can prove really problematic if you see, when you hack in and you see, oh, I got in, or I'm a maybe. And then late 2 weeks later, you get the official letter that says, we're very sorry, we have to put you on the wait list. You were very qualified, but we don't have room in our program. That can be a real bummer in terms of applicant expectations and in terms of institutional planning. Also, I wanted to make the point that the final numbers are also sensitive because applicants have a certain amount of time to respond and deposit to the school that they choose to attend. And schools plan like all that way in advance. And so for their fall class, they're giving applicants an acceptance date usually in that spring. And they're planning their entire fall based on what they're going to get back from the applicants. So they bank on a certain number of seats for the admitted class. And so hacking could potentially disrupt that process to some extent. So I wanted to point out that from a practical standpoint, the hacking caused an operational headache, a consequence which under consequentialist theories might be considered unethical. But here's the rub. Was the act immoral? I'm not convinced. I know that the act showed really bad judgment. How could you not know that you were going to not get caught? It just, to me, it seems really stupid on the part of somebody to hack into a system that can track you back. And because of that, I think it shows really poor business skills. I mean, the text argues that, ooh, maybe it shows really good business skills, like if the guy knows how to hack into a system, that's great. To me, if you hack into a system, you better cover your butt. And obviously, these applicants just kind of spur of the moment did it, thinking, I'm not going to get caught, and they did. So to me, it shows really poor business skills. It showed lack of foresight. It showed lack of planning, and it showed lack of patience. And I think patience is a really good business skill to have, especially long-term, in terms of long-term planning and thinking. A good business person understands that reputation is everything. Why would you take a chance with your reputation by doing something that's not right? or maybe not even legal. So, with you, did it tick off a little inner right versus wrong deep within your gut? It did in mine. So maybe Kant or Kant is the best philosophical application after all, because these applicants just should have known. They should have known innately that what they were doing was wrong, and therefore acted upon their inner feelings of, what right and wrong is. So, and to wrap things up, I think that Kant is the best application for this particular case study, and that it really shows more lack of judgment and lack of character rather than sort of a moral right or wrong question. Thanks.